everyone, and welcome back to the Rabbi Mirski Show. Today, we're diving straight into one of the most surprising ideas in all of Jewish tradition, that happiness is a mitzvah, a religious obligation. If you shared that with a non-Jewish friend, they would probably stare at you and say, wait, God commands you to be happy? How is that even possible? How can anyone be obligated to feel a certain emotion? It sounds strange at first, but Judaism has a very different understanding of happiness than the modern world does. So let's unpack it. But before we continue, hit that subscribe button and drop a like so this video can reach more people. First, let's be clear what Jewish happiness is not. It's never about making yourself feel good. There is actually no real concept of individual happiness in Judaism. No human being can be truly happy in isolation. Happiness in Judaism is always collective. It's about making the people around you, your family, your community, the stranger, the orphan, the widow, happy. And when you do that, you become a happy person in return. Think of it like this. Modern self-care tells you to light a candle, take a bubble bath, and whisper affirmations to yourself. Judaism says, nice try, but call your mother first, invite the neighbor who's eating alone, and then we'll talk about happiness. The Talmud teaches this explicitly. A man is obligated to gladden his children and the members of his household on a festival, as it is stated, and you shall rejoice on your festival. And they ask, with what should one make them rejoice? The Talmud answers, with wine, but the obligation doesn't stop at your table. Maimonides explains exactly how we fulfill this mitzvah. He says, give the children roasted seeds, nuts, and sweets, but your wife beautiful clothes and jewelry according to your means. Men should eat meat and drink wine, for there is no happiness without meat, and there is no happiness without wine. And then he adds the crucial line, when you eat and drink, you're obligated to feed the stranger, the orphan, the widow, and the other poor and broken-hearted people. And here's the hammer. But the person who locks the doors of his courtyard and eats and drinks with only his wife and children without feeding the poor, that is not the rejoicing of a mitzvah. That's merely the rejoicing of his gut. In other words, private pleasure is not Jewish happiness. Jewish happiness is shared joy. So how do we actually get there? How do we become the kind of person who can make others happy and be happy in return? The first step is self-mastery. You have to control yourself before you can take responsibility for others. Look at Pirkei Avot, where Ben Zoma teaches us who truly mighty person is. Who is mighty? He who subdues his evil inclination, Yetzer Hara. He quotes Proverbs, better one slow to anger than a warrior, and one who rules his spirit than one who captures a city. That's the foundation. You must conquer your Yetzer Hara, your selfish drives, and channel them properly. Only then you can become a responsible individual. Hillel puts it perfectly in Pirkei Avot 1:14. If I am not for myself, who is for me? And if I'm only for myself, what am I? And if not now, when? In other words, first, become self-sufficient. Take care of yourself so you can take care of others. And when you're able to do it, don't wait. Don't put it off for someday. Start now. And here's the thing. Our world today makes it dangerously easy to skip this step. You can get a job, pay your bills, live comfortably, and never take responsibility for anyone else for your entire life. You can chase your own dreams, your own goals, your own success. And many people do exactly that, thinking it will finally make them happy. But it won't. Individual plans and personal fulfillment are important, but they will never bring true happiness on their own. Happiness only arrives when you become self-sufficient enough to lift up the people around you. And when you do that, when you make others happy, you discover that Ben Zoma was right all along. In the same teaching in Pirkei Avot, he asks, "Who is rich?" And then he answers, "He who rejoices in his lot." Because when your happiness is tied to the well-being of others, you already have everything you need. One important detail. Notice what the sources keep saying about wine and food and celebration. They are the completion of happiness, the cherry on top. They do not create happiness. They celebrate a happiness that already exists because we have already made others happy. But in any case, food is very important in Jewish tradition. It may not bring happiness itself, but according to Talmud, anyone who fulfills the obligation to eat 3 meals on Shabbat is rescued from 3 punishments. From the birth pangs of the Messiah, the suffering that precedes the advent of Messiah, from the judgment of Gehenna, and from the war of Gog and Magog. In Jewish tradition, almost everyone is judged in Gehenna for 12 months straight after death. So you may spare yourself from it and the world from an apocalyptic war simply by eating 3 good meals every Shabbat. Okay, my friends, going back down to earth, this is the secret of the happy Jew. Muster yourself. Be responsible. Take care of your own needs so you can meet the needs of others. Then open your door, share your table, gladden hearts, and you will find that happiness has found you. That is the mitzvah. That is the Jewish path to joy. And never fight with your spouse, because whenever you fight with your loved ones, it's always a lose-lose situation. You can't win when the person you love loses. You may feel happy for a moment, but soon you will feel what the person who lost feels. Thank you for joining me today. If this message spoke to you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And remember, the next time you sit down to celebrate, ask yourself, have I made someone else happy today? Until next time, like the video, share it, subscribe if you haven't already. Be well, be happy, and share it with others.